It's lovely to be here, and thanks for inviting me. So I'm going to be speaking about writing a CV that sells, and it's writing an effective CV, but the truth is our CVs are a sales document. So I'm just going to share my screen because I've got it as a presentation. So I hope that you will find this very valuable. It says that the host has disabled screen sharing, so I think you'd have to.
Yeah, I need to make you the host.
Allow me to do that, yeah.
So, Mommy Fumi, do you want to make Dr. Lola the host?
It's a very different world now. We are having to get used to doing things virtually. It takes some getting used to.
Yes, you are now the host, so you can share.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, so like I said, we'll be talking about writing a CV that sells. My name is Dr. Lola Ayangbayi, and I am just going to go to slide share. What is this thing? Yeah, great. So a little bit about me. I'm an engineer. Well, I was an engineer. I have become a professional book editor, a proofreader, and a writing consultant, which is probably why I'm taking this session on CV writing. I've got a PhD. I'm an author. I've authored a book, and I've got 2 more in the pipeline. The name of my book is Catch It First: How to Edit and Proofread Your Own Writing, and it is available on Amazon as an ebook and as a printed book as well, if you do the Amazon print on demand. I recently started my own publishing company, and it's called BLA Stories, and I've just shared the logo there. So in case you see it somewhere, you'll be like, this looks familiar. Oh, it's that lady. So I put that there for recognition. And I am the founder of Write Better Africa, which is a Facebook community that helps sub-Saharan African adults learn how to write better. And again, that is our logo. So for recognition, if you see it anywhere, I hope you're able to connect the dots. I am married and I am a mom. I've got 2 lovely children. So that's just a little bit about me, and we move on. So let's get straight into it. What is a CV? I'm sure everybody here knows what a CV is, but just out of formality, out of tradition, I will say what a CV is. So a CV is the curriculum vitae, and it is a short written description of your education, qualifications, previous jobs, and the like. And it also sometimes contains your personal interests, which you send to an employer when you're trying to get a job. Now, I think for me, the most important thing is that a CV is a sales document. Do you know that there's research that says that employers only spend about 8.8 seconds on each CV that comes to their desk, or that gets, to them? Okay, these days, maybe not desk, maybe that comes into their emails or whatever platform it is they're using. But my point is, nobody has time to look through your CV and pick out the fine details. You need something that grabs their attention and that makes them think, I want that lady, I want that gentleman to be at the interview. I would like to find out more. So a CV is a sales document, and of course, what you're selling is yourself. You want to think about, how can I get these prospective employers' attention? My number 1 tip will be that think about the benefits. What do you bring to the table? Don't think about the features. Okay, so I have a PhD, and so what? A PhD is useless in itself or by itself. It is the benefit of having a PhD that I must be able to sell to my prospective employer that will help me get booked for an interview. And obviously, then you start to think about, when you get to that stage, start to think about how to get them to employ you. But the first hurdle to cross is making sure that your CV attracts enough attention to get you an interview. So one good way of doing this is to always make sure that everything in your CV counts. So today I'm not going to be teaching us about writing a CV in itself. I'm not going to say, okay, so at first you put this on top and then you put that next. Google is there, you know. I don't believe in resharing information that is a dime a dozen. But what I want to do today is I want to point you towards certain things that you can watch out for, that you can pay attention to make sure that your CV stands out and that you get the kind of attention that you need to help you get an interview. Okay, so you want your CV to paint a picture and you want to be able to answer that question, and so what. So I'm an engineer, and so what? Tell us what being an engineer brings to the table. So I'm a nurse, and so what? Tell us what being a nurse brings to the table. That is what, you know, your CV should be about. It should sell you. It should paint a picture in as short a time as possible. So there are several types of CVs, and I'm just going to touch on these because it's important that you know. So we have the traditional CV, which is the chronological one, which tends to follow the order in which your experiences occurred. This is like a very versatile CV. It's used across industries. I mean, if you have never written a CV before and you have to write a CV, you would most likely be writing a chronological CV, okay? Now, I will talk more about the differences in the next slide. The next type of CV is the functional one, which is based on your skills and achievements. So you don't want to focus so much on the experiences you have for different reasons. Maybe you have gaps in your CV or in your work history rather, or maybe you feel that you don't have enough experience, but you have, you know, a lot of skills that you can use in the role that's been advertised. Then in that case, you want to do a functional CV. And then there's a bit of both, the combined CV, which tends to be long because obviously for you to write, you know, for you to choose to write a combined CV, it is likely that you've got a lot of experience as well as a lot of skills and achievements, and you just want to put both of them, you know, in that document. Now, remember that I said, you know, people don't have time to really, really look through your CV. So in many cases, less is more when you're creating a CV. So when are these CV types relevant? For the chronological CV, if you've got a lot of experience in a particular industry and you want to demonstrate or you want to show, you know, whoever is hiring that, or you have grown, you know, that you've progressed, that you worked your way up to where you are now, you know, for different reasons. You might want to share this for different reasons. You might want them to be able to deduce that you're dependable and reliable and that you've got that staying power and all of that. Okay. Chronological CV is also useful if there are no gaps in your work history. So if you didn't take a break to look after the kids, you didn't take a break because you went to uni and all of that, you can use a chronological CV. If you're seeking a better position for in-house applications, so maybe you're moving from, you want to move from HR to some other department or vice versa, a chronological CV is the way to go. And then if you want to focus on the organizations you've worked for, so say you're changing companies, but you want to demonstrate that, or you want to show rather that you've worked with some prestigious companies and you want them to see that, you know, this is what you've done for those companies and this is the length of time spent with those companies, then again, a chronological CV is your best bet. Like I said, it is the most popular type. It is the traditional type of CV, and it is what most people would default to. Now, for the functional CV, there are times that you, for different reasons, like I took quite a bit of time to have my kids and to look after them. So my CV at some point was functional because for me it was about showing, you know, that I had skills and I had achieved things in my previous jobs. So if you want to show that you have the skills for a job, even though you don't have a lot of experience, your functional CV is the way to go. If you have gaps in your work history, like I've already said, it is the way to go. If you're changing trade and have demonstrated demonstrated that I'm able to use the skills in the right way, but I don't have the experience. Then I'll use a functional CV, and I would showcase the aspects that provide evidence that I can use these skills, okay? And then for entry-level roles, again, for the same reason, you don't have experience. Maybe you're fresh out of uni, or for whatever reason, you didn't get on the employment ladder. That's what I was looking for. You didn't get on the employment ladder early enough, and you want to start working. So for example, if you were stay-at-home mom before and your kids are grown and you want to start working, but with the experience you have, you know that you can only seek entry-level roles, then you want to use a functional CV, because then you begin to think, what skills do I have? What can I bring to the table? What transferable skills do I have? And then you focus more on what you can do as opposed to what experience you have. The combined CV is pretty much easy to figure out. Like I said before, you want to show that you have the skills and experience for a job. You have a lot of experience and achievements in a particular industry. And most times, the people that have this kind of experience, the people that have this level of experience and skills and achievements are usually people in managerial positions, people that have been there for years, that have worked their way up the ladder and are wanting to apply for executive roles and the like. So I'm going to be focusing on some aspects of, your CV, the cut across the 3 CV types, okay? And it is important that what goes into these areas or these parts of your CV sells you. Many people feel daunted, when it comes to writing CVs. It feels like such a chore. They just can't wait to. So when they put all the things they need to put down, they kind of heave a sigh of relief, forgetting that it's not just about writing stuff on paper and having something to show that this is the school I went to, this is where I've worked. Forgetting that it's not about that. Forgetting that there are 1,001 other people that will be applying for the same jobs, and would also be bringing something unique to the table. They forget all of that and send in those CVs and don't get a response. Why? Because you haven't made a difference. When you're writing your CV, think about difference. Think about standing out. You need to do something that would attract the right attention. So one area that cuts across all CVs is personal details. You must provide your personal details. We all know that to be your name, your phone number, your address, and your email. But so many CVs leave it at that. So I'm asking a question today. Is that all? Guys, that is not all, okay? You need, in today's world, social media has come to stay. You cannot pray it away, okay? The world has evolved. Social media has come to stay. And interestingly, employers want to know that when they employ you, or let me put it this way, employers want to be able to gain some insight into who you are. So it's now beyond, she has right qualifications, she has right experience. They want to understand your temperament. Will you be a good fit for the team? What are you like? Are you aggressive? Are you gentle? Are you confident? These little soft skills, so to speak. Do you speak well? Are you reliable? Would you abscond from work because you had a bad experience the previous day? They want to know if you're resilient, or they want to be able to pick on your soft skills. And for a lot of employers these days, in fact, I would say for all employers these days, it's not enough to just say that you do those things. They want to be able to feel for you. So in today's world, your social media profiles play a huge role. Something tells me that somebody's thinking, hey, how can I put my Facebook, a link to my Facebook profile in my CV? Yes, you can, but you don't have to put a link to your Facebook profile. You can put a link to your Facebook page. So that brings me to, what kind of social media profiles am I talking about? You want social media profiles that would demonstrate, that you are not afraid to be in a world that is diverse and that is digital. LinkedIn shouldn't just be, a platform for dumping your CV. No, LinkedIn should be a platform where you can tell a story about yourself, the kind of posts you share, the kind of comments you make, and all of that. I'm sure all of us here are parents, so we know that, there's something called online etiquette. So you don't go online and misbehave because you don't know who's watching. Every time you're online, you're leaving a digital print. So we pay attention to all these little things, and we make sure that when people just randomly Google your name, they are proud of what they see, or they are assured, depending on what the purpose of Googling your name is anyway, they are assured of what they see if in the case of a prospective employer. So you want to leverage LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the #1 professional platform in the world. So you want to leverage it. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I suggest that you create one, and begin to engage, look for people in the field you want to work in or in the field that you are working in, and begin to connect. And from time to time, I'm not saying spend all your time on social media, but from time to time, comment, let people have a feel of your personality, because someday when somebody wants to employ you, they might just check you out. Okay, there's another platform called about.me. Now, about.me simply is some sort of digital CV, if you like. It allows you to create a free, I wouldn't call it a website, but a free profile. Yeah, that's more apt. A free profile, where you put a little bit about you. Like my own about.me page links to my website. Okay, so if somebody, if I share my about.me link anywhere, so in this case, if I share it on my CV, they will just copy and paste that into their browser and check me out. It leads to my website, and on my website, they can have a feel for who I am. My social media handles are on my website, and then they can click that and gain more insight into my personality. Please, guys, be careful what you do on social media. Don't just delve into any sort of argument with anybody. Don't get into conversations that are not edifying. Don't get into conversations that would bring out the wrong side of you. Be very intentional and strategic, because you don't know where your presence or what your presence on social media will do, and don't know how far it can take you. Now, this is a personal opinion, but when it comes to establishing yourself on social media for professional reasons, my first recommendation will be LinkedIn for obvious reasons, then about.me, only because a lot of people don't know about it yet. Instagram, because everybody knows that Instagram is a business hub. Facebook page, not profile. So your profile is the personal one where people ask to become your friends. Your Facebook page is your business page, so to speak, and you can create one, for yourself. You don't have to be a business. You can just choose why you are creating. Excuse me, sorry, that's one of my numerous alarms going on. Okay, sorry about that. So you would just create a Facebook page that suits your purposes, put the relevant information there, with the mindset that, hey, I'll probably be applying for a job soon. And then Twitter, I'm not very familiar with Twitter. It's just one of, even though I have an account, it's just one of those platforms that I don't click with. And so I hardly go there. I only go there when, somebody tags me or something like that. Now, the next area that I will be focusing on this evening is your personal statement or profile. Now, I'm sure most of us have seen that short paragraph. It's usually about 5 or 6 lines, and it typically starts with stuff like this: a motivated and driven individual looking to gain experience within the engineering sector or whatever. This is another one. And I am an experienced and dedicated healthcare assistant looking to further my career in blah, blah, blah. I'm sure we've all seen those kind of personal statements or profiles. Now, they're not always needed, especially if you're going to write a cover letter. There's no need repeating information. More so, nobody has time. Remember, the goal is to catch their attention and secure an interview, and then you can go and wow them at the interview, okay? So, next page or next slide. Now, remember that I said that you want to sell your benefits, not your features, right? I crossed this out because it is the wrongest way of writing a personal statement. Hey, at this stage, the person hiring, the prospective employer doesn't even know who you are. You're just one amongst many. They've got no obligation towards you, you know. So why should they care about the fact that you're looking to get experience? Why should they care that you're looking to further your career? No, they want to know what you bring to the table. Now, erroneously, a lot of people think, oh, it will show that I'm an ambitious person and I'm ambitious, I want to grow in my career, and that would, make them hire me because they would think that, oh, because I want to grow, I would not leave the company on time and all of that. Hey, nobody has time to do all that thinking for you. They want to know what am I going to get from you being in my company, okay? So a better way to write a personal statement or profile, you can write a personal statement or profile in any way that is relevant to your industry. You can write it in third person, you can write it in first person. So a third person will be this first example that says a motivated and driven individual. So you're talking as if somebody is the one talking about you. The first person is you are saying that you are something, like the second example. But now, about what I bring to the table, you tell them what you are bringing to the table. So I put an example here, which says to add real commercial value, okay? So for example, if you look at, if we reword that first line and read it as a motivated and driven individual looking to add real commercial value to this engineering company with a view to helping them achieve blah, 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 blah in their sales objectives or whatever it is, I'm sure you get the drift. Now, for me, I would say that the key question you should be asking yourself when you're writing your personal statement, is that what is important to the organization I want to join? So I've seen this company, I'm desperate for a job, and I've seen this company, what is important to them? You have to put that desperation aside and stop thinking about yourself, because the truth is the prospective employer doesn't care about you. They care about what you bring to the table. So you think, what is important to them? And that is where research comes in. You cannot be applying for a job that you have not researched. Research should not be done just when you've been invited for an interview. That's a mistake most people make. They send in a generic CV, okay? A CV that they've used to apply to 1,001 companies. They don't tailor the CV. They don't research the company. They think, oh, once I get the interview, before I go for the interview, I'll research the company. No, your research starts from when you see the job advert. You research about the company. What are their values? What are their objectives? What are their goals? Their long-term goals? What kind of people do they hire? If you go on a lot of social media platforms like Quora, Reddit, and all those places, you would see or hear discussions, and I think there's one, or rather read discussions. There's one, Glassdoor. Glassdoor talks about people's experiences, employee experiences in different companies. You research them, know what the company really wants to achieve, and then you align your personal statement to fit that, okay? Making sure that you don't say what you are not, because honesty is always the best principle. If you lie, you will get caught anyway. But you want to look at all your skills, all your achievements, who you are, and how it aligns with what the company wants. And then you fit all of that into your personal statement and feel confident that if this is the first paragraph that the hiring manager, whoever it is, looks at, it will pique their interest, all right? So my next area of focus is key achievements. It's tempting to put in a lot of information in your CV, but I recommend pick your 3 biggest achievements, because nobody's going to read them anyway, except if you're applying for a really high level role where they really have time. But if it's just a regular entry level role or a mid-range, mid-level career role, pick your key achievements, okay? If you're not sure, ring whoever the contact person is and ask them what they expect to see in your CV. The worst they can tell you is, oh, I'm sorry, we can't provide that kind of information. But knowledge is power, all right? So list your 3 biggest achievements, and again, make sure that they're relevant to the role. Think about what is important to the company. Think about what they've written in the job specification. Make sure that these 3 things are what the they're relevant to what the employer is looking for in order of priority. So what is most important to the employer? Order of priority. Make sure that your 3 biggest achievements that you share demonstrate these things, okay? And questions you can ask are these 2 that I've put here. What are the 3 main things the employer is looking for? What attributes are they looking for in this role? And like I said, always tailor your key achievements to the role. And allow me to also say that always tailor your CV to each role. Let's stop this whole generic CV thing. It doesn't work. When hiring managers see a CV, they already know if it's a generic one or not. They've got the skills, they've got the experience, so they can tell. But when your CV is tailored, it tells them something about your personality. You have taken that extra precaution, effort, responsibility, whatever it is you want to call it, you know, but that good attribute, and done the needful by making sure that you're addressing what matters to them. Again, it's all about them. So they will be happy, and in those few seconds that they have, your CV will stand out. It's about making a difference. All right. Let me see what else I've got in my notes. Okay, so yeah, we're right at the end. Making your CV readable. There's no point having a CV, you know, that you've worked hard on, you've done your research, you've written your statements in a way that demonstrates that you're bringing something quality to the table, and then there's no point having such a CV and then having one that is full of errors, that is not pleasing to the eye. So like I said before, less is more. Always use a simple layout. You cannot, you know, you cannot make a mistake using a simple layout. Don't overcrowd your CV. I didn't share pictures of a simple layout because, like I said, whatever is readily available on Google is there for us to pick up on. There's no point sharing information that you can pick up at the click of your computer, at the click of a button, or at the touch of your phone screen, if you know what I mean. So don't overcrowd your CV, okay? If you're looking for example layouts, I'm sure most of us know these things, but if you're looking for example layouts, please just go to Google, type in, so if you're in the healthcare industry, type in CV layout for healthcare industry. You will see a lot of examples that you can model yours after. If you're in the engineering sector, the same thing. Whatever your industry is, just go to Google or any search engine that you use and type in the type of layout you want, or the kind of layout you're seeking for your industry. Now, don't overcrowd your CV, because we've heard that, oh, it's good for your CV to be short and straight to the point. Keep it to 2 pages, you know, because nobody's going to be reading it. There's this temptation to want to cram in as much information as possible. Don't get caught up in this, okay? Don't get caught up in this, because if information is too crowded, or if your CV is too crowded, it becomes difficult to pick out the key things, and then you've kind of shortchanged yourself and defeated the whole purpose anyway. You want to use a lot of white space, all right? So between your bullet points, you can format it in a way that, you know, you leave just enough white space that makes each line stand out. Between the different experiences you have, leave white space. Make it look nice, simple, okay, and catchy. Use colors sparingly. Less is more, except you're in the creative industry. There's no point using a colorful CV. Black and white, and perhaps dark brown, maybe if you, or navy blue or midnight blue, if you wanted to maybe let your name stand out. I know I have that for my CV. I use the color, a very dark color that isn't black, for my name. All right. But like I said, if you're in the creative industry, black and white is fine, or stick to dark colors, but don't use more than 2 colors. Less is more, okay? Keep the number of fonts you use to a minimum. Use fonts that people are used to, fonts that are traditional, fonts that kind of, let me use this word, responsible for, and it's for lack of a better word, because I'm not trying to, you know, rubbish any other type of types of fonts, but there's some old faithfuls that will not disappoint you. Times New Roman, Arial, Cambria, Vedana, you know, the types you use in uni when you're, or in school when you're submitting your essays. Use those kind of fonts. Keep them to 2, okay? Again, go easy on capitalization. I don't know if you know this, but in this digital age, when you write things in capital letters, things that are maybe not your name or a title or a subheading, if you use capital letters just anyhow in the body of the text, it implies that you're shouting, okay? And you don't want to draw unnecessary attention. Anything that is on a plain font is an emphasizing feature. So if you use bold, for example, the first thing that will come to the mind of the reader is, why is this thing emboldened? They want to know. And so if you have emboldened it for no reason, they're like, this person doesn't know what they're doing, okay? So go easy on the use of capital letters, italics, underlines, and the like. Now, we're down to proofreading. You want to hear your CV. Why? Because our eyes miss things when we've been too used to them. So you spent maybe a week or two crafting an impressive CV, okay, a CV that sells you, you're so confident, but you've looked at that CV so many times that you don't miss out on the fact that there's a letter missing, because your eyes, our minds and our eyes, they're amazing. We can replace these things if we thought about them. So if you wanted to write to, that's TO, for example, and you missed it, because you plan to write it, your eyes will see it. It has happened to me countless times. I am an editor, a professional editor and proofreader, so I know these things, and I know, how I combat them. It happens to the best of us. It's not about being good at what you do or not. It just happens. So one of the ways to avoid it is to read it out. So when you hear it, you would know if something is missing. And then if you're reading it out and you've missed out a letter, you're like, oh, I missed out this letter. And then you can correct it. All right. Another thing you can do is trace it with your hand. And these things are in fact, they're almost like childish tactics, but they work. And for us, if it works, then it does the job, and then we are happy, okay? So please proofread your CV. Look out for spelling errors. Look out for punctuation errors, word usage. Don't write RIGHT when you want to write WRIT, okay? Homonyms. These things, don't write BARE when you want to write BEAR. These things are little foxes that spoil the vine. So watch out for your word usage and grammar mistakes. One thing you can do is, if you're not great at grammar, spelling, and the like, you can use spelling and grammar checkers. There are many free versions available online. Don't depend on them though, but with each suggestion that they give you, check it, and with the knowledge you have, ask yourself, is this correct? If you're not sure, get a second opinion. And talking about second opinions, when you finish crafting your CV and you're happy that it's ready to go, it's always a good idea to get somebody that you respect their opinion, to have a read for you. Or if you have somebody in that same field, it doesn't matter whether they are at the same level, or it doesn't matter, let me put it this way, it doesn't matter whatever level they are at. What is most important is that it is the second pair of eyes. They're more objective and they can read through for you. Once you've done these things, you can be somewhat confident that your CV will catch the right attention. Okay? Do we have any questions? I'm open to taking questions now. That is all I have for us.
Well, thank you so much, Ma. So parents, if you have questions, please, we'll be able to pick just one question because of our time. And if you have further questions, do not hesitate to get in touch with me so I can, I can connect you with Dr. Lola. So if she's happy.
Yeah, okay. Any questions? I can't see anything in the chat.
If you have any question, just wave and she will call you. Any question on CV? Okay, probably if there's no question.
Okay, I'm just going to wrap up before yeah, that's fine. Before I go, I've got my contact details. And if you're really keen on learning how to improve your CV, or if you know that maybe that you're going to be changing careers in the near future, or you're going to be applying for jobs, I've got a work in the pipeline. It's not ready yet. I've got, it's not, let me try and share the screen. Yes, so I've got a book. It's written, but it's not been published yet. I plan to put it on Amazon and just generally launch it on the 9th. It was going to be the 1st before, on the 9th of November. So it's for people that are seeking or that seeking, jobs, people that are in a phase where they're applying for a lot of interviews. So people that just left college or uni, people that are going through a career change and all of that. So if you want to know more about it, or you want to pre-order an electronic copy, send me an email to find out more. Okay, and if not, in the future, you can just type my name into Amazon and see what it brings out. I'm sure you'll be able to find a copy to buy. All right, and here are my contact details. You can find me on social media: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as Lola Ayangbayi, PhD. And there's my mobile number, my business line. You can copy it if you feel that you will need it in the future. And my email is lolaayangbayi@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with me via writebetterafrica@gmail.com. My website is down at the moment, which is why I have not put it up. It's been redesigned, but for future purposes, it is very simple. It's www.lolaayangbayi.com. So thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor, speaking to you all on a topic that I love. And I hope that you'll be able to put all the things I spoke to you about into useful, or into good use. That's the word, or that's the phrase, into
practice. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. Let's clap for Jesus, parents. Let's clap for Jesus. So, Ma, kindly make me the host back, okay? So, thank you.
I will do that now.
We've learned so much. I'm actually very blessed. I thought I know, CV, but I've learned more anyway, about CV, writing. So, thank you so much for that. And we've recorded